I don't know what's happening in the TikTok universe. I don't know what's happening in the social media universe. But in the real world, I'm African American. I'm black. Okay? Whichever way you want to say it, whatever way you want to talk it. Why is it that there's a whole war raging on social media between Africans and African Americans or Black Americans, however you want to call yourself? At the end of the day, this seemed like some real tactics that happened a long time ago. Like, if you know your history from the 60s and 70s, you know that once upon a time there was a whole section of us that was like, we're going to go back to Africa. And just not too long ago, Africa was like, yo, you can get dual citizenship if you want to go blah, blah, blah. And let's not sit here and forget about the propaganda. Once upon a time, they told us that Africa was broke, it was ugly, it was disastrous. They had the little commercials on there talking about you can feed a child in Africa. Everybody over here was calling people African booty scratchers. Yes, I remember that time. That was not something that you wanted to be called. And then let's not talk about what they were showing them over there about us. They were like, these people over here are poor, they're ugly, they have no culture, they're lazy, blah, 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 blah. So they turned both of us against each other. So when we started to really meet each other, we didn't like each other. Everybody had this preconceived notion. And now I'm sitting back watching in 2025, y'all are fighting? Really? We are fighting to just be called black and not African Americans, to have our culture separated, knowing that our cultures are really intertwined? I'm not saying that Black Americans don't have a culture. We clearly do. We took lemons and made lemonades. We took what we were supposed to and we made a whole bunch, but we're not going to sit here and act like our ancestors are not the same. Our great ancestors, yes, some of them were already here, but we're not going to act like everything didn't start in Africa. Okay? You don't have to call yourself African American. You can trace your lineage all the way back to Africa like most of the world. We just sat here and praised the movie Sinners for the intersection of music that he did in that movie to tell where it came from. How did we get here and how we continue to create a culture? Why are we trying to separate ourselves so much? The separate but equal is not what we should be doing with our own kind. We are stronger when everybody black stands together. What needs to happen is a conversation. A critical criticism is okay. A real conversation needs to be had. That's okay. There needs to be some type of therapy in between Africans and African Americans, because there needs to be a bridge that is gapped. There needs to be a conversation that should be had. There's some healing that should be happening. I remember all the way back reading stories about like the 70s and the 60s where there used to be conversations about getting back to our roots, wearing our afros, wearing the dashikis. There's a whole bunch of us that's pan-Africanism. There's a whole bunch of us that's woke. There's a whole bunch of us that's learning consciousness, that's understanding how this world works and how they try to separate us and break us. Like I said, there are people on here talking about we need to boycott the African braiders. Okay, I'm not going to say that that's wrong, because some of them need to be shown that, y'all, you can't talk about us and can't do X, Y, and Z to us, and we not gonna do nothing back. But before we have that conversation, we need to have the conversation about, I don't know, the Koreans, Vietnamese, Asians who took over the black market of hair, getting our nails done. We sit here and get disrespected by them while they talk their own language, and we just sitting here like la 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 la, getting our nails done. Like, if y'all want to ban something, if y'all want to block something, if y'all want to do something, y'all need to go there first. Okay? But really, I understand what happened with Essence Fest. I completely understand. It should have been black culture. We have a culture. African Americans have a culture. But the fact that y'all trying to take the African out of it is crazy. Look at us. Look at them. We have different cultures because we live in different areas, but look at the size of Africa. Half of us are trying to get over there at least one time in our life. Yes, they do not treat each other the same way. Africans don't even treat Africans with as much respect. We don't treat ourselves with that much respect. What is happening here? What is happening here? A conversation needs to be had. There needs to be some type of groundbreaking conversation, instead of just like, y'all said this and we said that and da-da-da-da-da and this is how we feel. Like, there gotta be some type of mediation in between so that we can understand where the disconnect is and mend it. Because right now I feel like this is all war tactics, breaking up all the people. We are together. We're supposed to be together. Caribbeans, Haitians, everybody that has some type of black descendant, some type of African descendant, we should be together. I really feel like we should be working together to make this world a better place. Because let's be real. If we took all the resources that like Africa gives us or they're stolen from, if they took all that crap, we'll be messed up over here. We have some resources, but we'll be messed up over here. Let's not play. Let's not play. Like, let's not play. Some people were like, yeah, we don't have their food. Some people talk down on the soul food. Yes. Some of us talk down on our soul food. Some people talk about our clothes. Some of us talk about our clothes. Some people talk about our hair. Some of us talk about our hair. I don't know about y'all, but I'm pretty sure a lot of our hairstyles came from the diaspora. We didn't bring that shit over here. Like, that didn't just pop up in our brain and was like, this is how we do it. We learned that from great grandma. You know what I'm saying? So I really feel like this is stupid. We learned to make do with what we had, even if we took slavery out of it. Kings, queens, princesses, around the whole world, separated, moved. Let's not sit here and act like we don't have a whole history where Africa was beat out of us, killed out of us, destroyed from us. And even like our native bloods, destroyed, killed. Like, what is this conversation? What is happening right now? I really feel like a lot of y'all are bots. Because this can't be true. This can't be repeating itself. History is literally repeating itself. We already had that whole struggle. Like, back in the 50s and the 40s, when we were over here trying so hard to be white or trying so hard to have our own community, when Africans started to come over here, like, immigrate over here, we gave them a hard time because that's why we were taught. They gave us a hard time because that's how they was taught. Like, it's all propaganda. I can really go into conversations about this all day long. Yes, there's a conversation that needs to be had. Yes, there are some misconceptions that need to be fixed. Yes, a lot of this stuff is misunderstood. A lot of it needs to be talked about. And I need like the Caribbeans, the Haitians, I need like the Africans. It's so, the world is so big. The indigenous, I need all y'all to get together and we need to have a conversation to figure out where the breakage is. What's the misconception? We need to fix it. Because as of right now in 2025, the last thing we need to do is really like, you know, be fighting with each other or destroying each other. I don't know about y'all, but my whole life I've always went to like the African festivals. I know that a lot of our dance moves come from them. I know a lot of our rap styles and rhythms and blues come from them. I know we have our own. But we're not going to sit here and act like the spiritual properties of it all doesn't come from the ancestors. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? There needs to be a conversation. There needs to be some type of fickage, but this ain't it. And if TikTok is supposed to be the bridge, you know, that gaps, the gap that bridges is all whatever, then we need to do something else. But this ain't it. Just coming on here and talking about, well, you African booty scratchers, and when y'all braid hair, and we did this, and this is American culture, or blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, we need to come at each other differently, because the way that we've been coming at each other for years is crazy work, okay? It is. It really is. It's diabolical even. We need to figure out a way that we can have real conversations and make it. Y'all remember that episode from A Different World where they were all fighting to help Africans, children? I guarantee you, in real life, they didn't get none of that money. None of it. Like, how much did we Americans give to the people in Africa just to realize that they ain't get none of that? We praise people like Nelson Mandela. Like, what is happening? There's people literally trying to separate themselves from Africa. Like, we ain't never been over there. We don't know people. What are y'all talking about? What are y'all talking about? There's a whole generation of us from the 80s and the 90s that heard nothing about, you know, Black Panthers, Pan-Africanism, you know, getting back to our roots, blah, 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 blah. That, in 2025, now we're just like, yeah, nah, fuck them. What? That is crazy. It's I don't know about y'all, but a conversation needs to be had, because yes, African Americans have their own culture, but it's definitely based within some African culture. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. We may do what we had, and we made it our own, definitely. But we can't sit here and act like we're really that separated. We're really not. We're really not, and we shouldn't be. We should be able to appreciate each other, acknowledge each other, and, you know, understand each other's culture and move on, and not insult each other and not be, you know, evil to each other. That's just how I feel. I really feel like we should be able to connect.